few years ago, I had a dream. I come from a polygamous home. My husband and I are not polygamous, we are monogamous. But my dad married several women and also had children from women he did not marry. Long story. And then one day, the Holy Spirit is bringing this to me. I would never share this publicly, right? But it's bringing it to me. God had called me and told me that he was assigning a responsibility to me, which was as a watchman. What is a watchman? A watchman is someone God gives a responsibility to watch over either a family, a people, a territory, which means that anytime something is about to happen to that territory or that family, as long as you keep your priesthood on fire, God will communicate it to you. Right? Abraham was a watchman. That's why God could not do but to share what he was going to do in Sodom, because Abraham had a nephew who was in Sodom. Abraham was not in Sodom, but because he was a watchman. So I take this responsibility and I pray, try to stay as alert as I can. Sometimes I used to slack, but now I know better, because those 2 days that you slacked for, you don't know what can happen within those 2 days. So you just have to make sure that you're always praying for your extended families. And so one day I had this dream. There are some dreams you have. This one is not the one that happened with your soul. It is a revelation that came to you. And in this dream, there's a minister of God that I listen to every Sunday, actually. A great man of God. And in this dream, I had attended a service of his. And as I walked in, he looks at me. He gives me a word for one of my siblings. And then he begins to talk to a woman who is sitting behind me. But he first asked me, who is this person? He mentions the person's name. Who is this person? I begin to tell him that the person, based on my understanding of that person's name, is one of my stepsisters. That is one of the children of my father's women. But he didn't look convinced of the information. So he pointed to the woman who was standing behind me. And he rebuked her. I looked back and I saw her face. And she did not look like she could be any of my father's children, because she was really old. And I woke up from that dream. When I woke up, of course, I went into my family group chat. That's my extended family group chat. And I'm like, I saw this person. But I first said, please, is there any other person in our extended family who bears this name? My mom responds and says, yeah, you have a stepmom who bears the name. Mind you, in my whole life, I don't know that my stepmom with that name. I know her as another name. Right? And God knew why he had to introduce her name to me, so that I would know that revelation was not coming from the soul. He was pointing to me an information I did not know of, which is that this woman, this is her real name. What you know her as is mother of so and so, but that's not her name. And I had to call my mom and I said, see, this and this is what I saw. And in the way the woman was looking, she was not looking like as if she was going to get up from that situation without some external force, if you know what I mean. Like, she was seated and she was literally looking with a very mean look. And the Holy Spirit began to show me that you have to rise up. This is what I'm calling you to rise up and confront. Why am I sharing that? That's because I was probing in that season. There were certain things God was leading me to address, altars in my extended family. There were altars I was being called to address in that specific season of my life. So God was showing me that as much as you are addressing altars from this bloodline, there is this person that symbolizes an altar. Now, of course, we don't pray, let her die, because even if she dies, what she started is alive. I've taught it on this platform before, right? What she started is alive. It is there, it's living. So the death of a witch does not end struggles. No. It is the disempowerment of the witch that releases her captives. Right? So, of course, God began to weaponize my mouth with the prayers to pray. So, you as a believer, you must be willing to probe further. I'm seeing this person. Every time I'm praying, this is who I am seeing. What does she symbolize? If I'm seeing, if I see her just once, maybe it's her name that is symbolic. If I see her consistently, she as a person is symbolic. So for what is she symbolizing? And what do I need to do? You cannot use your own prayer to address a revelation that came from the Spirit of God. So you then have to then discern what the Holy Spirit is saying you should pray. Right? You then have to discern what God is saying you have to then pray over that situation. You must hear what He wants you to pray. Because sometimes what He might be asking you to pray is the prayer of mercy. I've had a coaching session before where different things were happening in that family. The Holy Spirit told me they must cry for mercy because there is blood in their hands. So you see that it is not, oh, let every principality and power be rendered powerless. Yeah, all of that is good. But what is God saying you should pray? What is the prayer God is saying you should pray? You must discern it.